Super Retro Force.
What is up, YouTube? Alright, so we're gonna do this today. It's been a while since we kind of talked about the mental health.
No, I think we should stay.
Why?
So I'm in the dumpster already.
Well, then get out. Come on, you're.
In video gaming. Not necessarily just for collecting itself and addiction like that, but just depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. There will probably be some comments about collecting and stuff on here, but in general, we're going to try and relate it more to the mental health aspect. First off, if you're new to the channel, thank you guys so much for being here. A little background on me. I'm a 37-year-old male, obviously, from Iowa. I have 3 boys. I am married to the most beautiful, amazing woman ever. And yeah, I am a big fan of video games, and I have been ever since I can remember. I am celebrating 11 years of sobriety last September, and we're just going to kind of talk a little bit more about that. Like I said, if you got, a lot of you guys have probably already been on this channel for a while, so you kind of know that basics about me. But besides the sobriety and everything that goes along with it, one thing I wanted to talk, and I've admitted it in the past, that I suffer with anxiety and depression, and also childhood PTSD, whether that be from my parents getting divorced or just in general, just not having a good childhood. Now, how has that transferred to adulthood and video gaming? Well, as a kid, it was pretty simple. I was using video games to escape reality. Like I said, childhood, a lot of stuff was going on. Parents splitting up, moving around a lot, and just not in general having much money or popularity at school. So that really transferred on to later on in life, depression and anxiety. Always wanting to fit in, always wanting to just feel like I belong, Video games were a way to do that, because not only could I play with whatever friends I had, but I could also play fantasy games, action games, escape reality for a little bit that was tormenting me, and save the princess from the castle. Take down the aliens with my pistols and assault weapons, and just overall save the world from some villain. And while doing that too, it made me feel a lot better about myself and accomplished, and also just getting away from what was bothering me in real life, because like I said, there was a lot going on. Now in adulthood too, this was kind of a way to reach out and make new friends, because like I said, with the childhood I was having, I wasn't the most popular kid at school. I wasn't, obviously my school was pretty good. You didn't have too many cliques, and everybody usually got along, so it was a good way. But always never being like the most popular kid, or doing the best in sports and everything like that. I was using video games to not only play with whatever friends I had, but also make new friends on the internet. And not only was I playing video games and everything like that, but I was also just that was when the internet was becoming huge, so there was message boards, chat rooms, and stuff like that. So it was a lot easier for me to make friends that way. And video game was important in that, because I could talk about games. A lot of people could, make connections through gaming because of experiences. So there would be a lot of times, even nowadays, at 37, being a little bit more comfortable in my skin, understanding life a little more, and being mature, that I can make new friends just from talking about games, it always seems like. All you got to do is mention something, and it always seems like somebody has some kind of connection, whether it was from their childhood or, still playing. I've had I connect with coworkers that are my age, some of the newer kids that come and start working there at 20, and everything like that. We make connections that way. So gaming has helped with that in general too. But a lot of times, like I said, as a youth, it masked a lot of my issues. I was scared to do therapy, and it wasn't until I was older that I did do that. Then that made me feel a lot better, and I was able to talk about my issues with somebody else. And like I said, I got a loving, supporting wife now and everything too, so that's very big. But video games have still always been there helping. Sometimes it was masking, like I was saying, like I said, as a kid, I was using it as a coping mechanism for stuff that was bothering me. But nowadays, too, I can do it as my hobby, as my, break from reality in a more controlled environment. So, just kind of talking a little bit more about this. Now, I'm going to cut off to a little bit now. If you guys, I'm not a licensed therapist, obviously. You can tell by the way everything is here. I'm only talking about my experiences in life, what I've done with them, and if there's anything in this that you can use or help you, then that's great. Otherwise, talk to a licensed therapist. Talk to somebody to get help if you are dealing, obviously, with depression, anxiety, OCD, PTSD, anything. If you need help, make sure you ask for it. People nowadays are a little too proud to ask for help, guys. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Alright, so yes, depression and anxiety. Just kind of talking a little bit about it, just kind of overwhelmed you a little bit. Even as an adult with therapy and everything along the lines, going through it and stuff like that, it still is always there. And people will try to tell you it's a chemical imbalance, you need medication for it, blah blah blah, and sure, but a lot of times, I feel like it's how you're raised and obviously how life has been out for you. Could it be a chemical imbalance? Of course. But I didn't grow up, I didn't become an addict necessarily because my brain, but I guess you kind of could say I really loved dopamine spikes, serotonin and stuff like that, and you got that from using. But I don't think in general, if I would have had maybe a better childhood and stuff like that, I might have not turned out the way it was. But you never know. Maybe people are right. Maybe my brain was just messed up to begin with, and I needed outside help for that. But gaming and stuff has always been there. Even when I took breaks and didn't play for a while, I kind of felt it. And like I said earlier in this video, I was going to talk about collection addiction and how that went with this. I didn't used to play games as much. I just enjoyed more along the lines of collecting them instead of actually playing them. And it took a couple years of doing this before I realized that I was not a gamer anymore. I was just a collector. And to help with that, I obviously had to do something. So a big thing was I sold a lot of collection and I started playing games again. And by doing that, I had so much more fun. And I've also it's been great. Like playing games with my kids, and hopefully here pretty soon the wife and I want to get the Super Nintendo back out and start playing some games that way too. But in general too, just playing with buddies and enjoying adventures again. And I forget a lot of times with the stress from work and everything along the lines of that gaming helped with that. And oh man, it really is great. I forget how fun games were. If we want to go on and talk a little bit more about this, the one thing that I do not support is when people tell other people that gaming makes you violent, that it teaches hatred and stuff like that. I don't ever believe that. I think that that's a joke, because if you ask me, that could be said about music. I'm not talking about heavy metal music. I'm not talking about, rap music. There is just all music nowadays can teach you stuff if you really want to do that. But I don't think our mind really works that way. I think a lot of times it's just other stuff. But I'm going on a tangent now. I honestly don't know where I'm going with this anymore. So I'll just kind of finish off by talking more about me. Like I said, depression and anxiety, I used drugs and alcohol and stuff to self-medicate to make myself feel better because I couldn't figure out how to do it myself. And with therapy and stuff like that, I was able to process that better and figure out things to make myself better. And now, like I said, if you would have told me 11 years ago that I'd be sober great job, great family, coaching Little League, coaching flag football, being a big role in my environment, or my community and stuff like that, I would tell you were crazy, because I was so down on myself that I didn't even think it could happen. So if you guys are suffering in this moment, ask for help and just try to look forward to the future, one step in front of the other, and keep it going. Because honestly, this is kind of, like I said earlier, people are so too proud, too whatever, and they don't want to ask for help. And that's something you guys have to do, because sometimes, obviously, if you've been going this long and you haven't figured it out or gotten better, doing it yourself is obviously not helping. So get help. I just want to finish this off by telling you guys that therapy does work. Make sure that you find somebody that you could trust and that you enjoy talking to, because otherwise then it's kind of hard to. I've had one therapist where it was like she just kept handing me pamphlets and packets to do, and I was just like, I thought we were supposed to be talking through my issues, not you giving me homework every time. So make sure you find one that you like, guys. But I want to end this on this note. We do recover if we have the capacity to be honest. So be honest with yourself. I don't know what the heck this video was even about, but I was just having one of those nights where I felt like I had to get some of the stuff out that was sitting in me. And even just talking this little bit, I feel 100 times better. So that just proves to you right there that talking helps. And I hope that even if this video only helps one person, it's worth it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay retro, my friends. Make sure you comment below. I'm trying to think. You don't have to tell exactly what you suffered about. If you simply just want to comment saying, I'm having a bad day, or I'm suffering today, I need help. You don't have to say any more than that. And like once I've told several people too, you want to reach out to me on Instagram, just unload about what's been going on with you. I'll leave it anonymous. I won't talk about it. I won't share with anybody else. And I won't even reply if you don't want me to. If you just want to tell somebody something to get it off your chest, I'm here for you guys. So once again, as always, stay retro, my friends, and we will see you in the next video. Have a blessed day, guys. God bless.
Super Retro Force.